Hello boys and girls, my name is Michael SK and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. In the last episode, I decided that it would have been best to speak to Emi's mother. And we got some advice from her about how we should continue on with our relationship with Emi and how exactly we should get closer to her, even so she is not wanting to get closer to us. However, Emi wasn't really happy about this as she was eavesdropping, and things are a little different. There's a distance, a noticeable distance between both Hisao and Emi. So we're on saving throw. I believe we're just on another day. I believe the days have kind of just been going on as nothing's really happening. We haven't had the opportunity to talk to Emi. She's just, I guess, distancing herself away from Hisao. And I guess it's just how things have been. It sucks, man. Some heartbreaking shit right there, but let's continue and see what happens in this episode. Another lunch comes. I trudge up the stairs to the rooftop like a condemned man. Rin is up there, but Emi is not. Immediately, I worry that something's happened to her. Maybe the lack of sleep finally made her collapse, or something worse. She seemed pretty tired after our morning run. Maybe she fell asleep and didn't even make it to class. Hey Rin, where's Emi? In response, I get a rather penetrating look from Rin, and something approaching a frown appears on her face. Is that information really important? I think so. She's usually here with you, isn't she? I don't know. I have no way of being sure. I can confirm that she is, in fact, usually here with you when I come up. Well, she isn't now. Does that worry you? Kind of. And here she is. Lovely squeaky-ass door. That seems to be the end of the conversation. And the point becomes moot anyway, because Emi bounced through the door with her usual energy. Hisao is kind of worried about you, Emi. I don't think he can decide, or maybe I just don't believe him, but I think I'm going to go somewhere less awkward now. Oh. Oh shit, dude. Oh shit. I'm so surprised by Rin's being so suddenly forward about, well, anything at all, that I merely watch her head through the door. Emi is similarly, the fuck's wrong with me, surprised, and color slightly crimson as she stares open-mouthed at me. It occurs to me that I should probably say something, if only to break the awkward silence that has suddenly descended. It's because you weren't here yet. I was worried about that. Why? You're usually here, so I was worried that something had happened to you. This isn't the first time that I've been late, you know. Did you get worried all the other times, too? Not really. Emi seems slightly amused by this. I don't know why, but that kind of pisses me off. So why was this time an exception? Maybe it's the light, teasing tone of the question. But something in her response pushes me to be honest, though I can't help snapping at her when I say it. Because you've been worrying me since dinner at your house, that's why. Well, now it's out in the open, and Emi's eyes are wide, and she looks like she wants to bolt, but she doesn't. Ah, still on that, I see. What, you think I'm supposed to just forget about it? You threw me out of your house! We've been going on for almost a week pretending it never happened. I didn't see you bringing it up either, you know. I know, and I'm sorry that was the case. We have to address it or we'll just keep up this whatever it is we've got right now. It's killing me to look at how you look right now. Did you know that? Those circles under your eyes and that distracted look in them. And I can't help worrying that I've caused it somehow. You haven't, trust me. Well, I haven't helped either. I keep pushing you to tell me things you aren't ready to tell me. Maybe I was wrong to try getting your mother to help me out, but I've been so worried about you that I didn't know what else to do. Well, you don't have to worry about me anymore, okay? I think it's pretty clear we're not right for each other, so maybe we should just stop. Her face is twisted as she says this. Like, she doesn't want to say it, but forces herself to anyway. You don't actually want that, do you? Heck, you can barely bring yourself to say it. Anyway, it won't keep me from worrying about you. I care too much about you to just stop on command. You don't want to tell me what's wrong? That's fine. But I won't stop trying to help you, even if it's just standing by you. Stop saying that. She's shaking now. And as she looks at me, I can see she's afraid and frustrated, and a million different things all at once. I shake my head slowly and take a few steps toward her. You know what your mom told me? She told me that you'd never ask for help, because you know that you're strong enough to get through anything on your own. But that's not the full story, is it? Her eyes go wide, and she takes a step back. I keep going because I think I finally figured it out. Something tells me I won't get another shot. I've put it off for far too long as it is. There's no harm in having someone help you, unless you're worried about needing help in the first place. You're scared, aren't you? Because of... I trail off because I don't know for certain what happened to Emi's father, and I don't want to jump to a conclusion. Well, never mind why, but it's okay to be afraid. You've been running from it and from me for so long, even though you know eventually you have to turn around and face your fear. And I'm going to be there to help when you do. I won't stop, because I don't think you'd want me to. You can understand that sort of determination, can't you? I can see that I've gotten through to her, but she quickly falls back to anger to try and push me away again. Back on your white charger, Hisao. Gotta help the poor cripple face her emotional problems? What do you know about me? And about what I've already had to face? You think 2 months of learning to walk again was fun? But I did it. And after I did that, I had to... For a moment, it seems as if she's going to say something else, but she cuts herself off. And after that, or after all that, you don't think you can get past your fear? Emi, I can't fathom what you've been through. But to come through it and still be the sort of girl that you are, well, it makes me think that you have even more strength than you think. So I'm not going to help you because I'm not going to help you because I think you need rescuing. I don't want to be a knight rescuing the damsel in distress, but even knights helped each other out. You know. I want to help you, even though I know you can do it on your own. For a moment, it looks like Emi's going to break down completely, but she doesn't. Tears run down her face, but she stares at me steadily. Why are you trying so hard to help me? I'd say that it's because I owe you one for helping me out when we first met, but that wouldn't be the truth. The truth is, I just want you to be happy because I love you. Had I ever said that before? We've been in a relationship, and it's been pretty obvious that I love her. But did I ever actually speak the words? Well, I guess we kind of did to the nurse. What did you say? I say it again, savoring the feeling of being able to say it at all. Being able to say it and mean it. Emi seems stunned. I said I love you, Emi. I love you. Just you. And that makes me want to stand by you, no matter what you have to face. Oh shit, dude. I'm wrapped in a fierce hug then, as Emi begins to sob against my chest. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about everything, but I'm so scared, Hisao. I'm so scared of losing you, and I love you too, but I can't lose you. I'm so sorry. I hold her quietly, shushing her until she settles down. She steps back, a little more composed. Will you come with me tomorrow? Back to my house. There are some things I need to show you if I'm going to do this. Of course. Maybe this time we can leave together instead of separately. Emi grins, a sudden flash of brightness that seems more genuine than anything I've seen in the past week. Yeah, maybe. The lunch bell rings, kind of ruining the moment, and I curse the universe's poor sense of timing. Are you free tonight? We can talk more then, right? Emi shakes her head. Sorry, Hisao, but I'm still helping the track team. Plus, I don't think it would be good if we talked this over tonight. I'm going to be too tired to think properly, and I want to be able to tell you everything without screwing it up. You can wait, right? Even now, there's a bit of fear in her voice. I smile and rest a hand on her shoulder. Okay, I'll be waiting. Emi gives me a quick kiss before she heads for the stairwell. Thanks, Hisao. See you tomorrow morning. Wouldn't miss it. I'll be honest, guys. Like, I thought we were going down a bad path here because everything was kind of just going to shit after the decision I made in the last episode. Fuck. Alright. I head down the stairs with the feel of her lips on mine. Suddenly aware of how much I've missed that sensation. I'll have to remember to thank Rin for getting us to talk to one another. Although it's possible she won't even realize what she's done, still, if not for her, I doubt I'd have ever been able to confront Emmy again. I guess I needed more help than I realized. Tomorrow, however, I'll need to stand alone through whatever Emmy's trying to work herself up to doing. I'll be up to the task. I hope. We got this. Can I get a drink of water? Yes. Let us be fast about it. Okay, maybe a little too fast. That didn't feel right. God damn. Alright. Okay, yeah, that was a bad idea. The morning sun is bright through my open window, and the sound of my alarm quickly has me up and about. I slept surprisingly well last night, secure in the knowledge that at least I've got another chance with Emmy. If I can just keep myself from doing anything stupid, maybe I'll find out what's been eating her recently. I have a few educated guesses, but nothing concrete, and certainly nothing that I'm going to say to her. I'd much prefer to have her tell me herself. Although I can't help remembering the nurse's warning that I might not like what she has to say. Do I really need to know that badly? What if it's something awful that makes me repulsed by her? Can I really say that I'm prepared to handle whatever she has to say regardless of what it is? Emmy says she wanted to tell me without screwing it up. What the hell did she mean by that? What's there to screw up? I suppose there's not much use worrying about it, though. I'll find out today. It occurs to me that I really need a run this morning, to clear my head if nothing else. Emmy is waiting for me as promised, looking a little haggard, but otherwise bright and cheerful, much more so than any previous day this week. Hisao, you're late. I wave my head dismissively. Nonsense, you're just early. Back to the old grind. Emmy grins back, and it feels like we're finally back where we should be with one another. Except now Emmy, not just me, wants to take another step forward, although a part of me worries that she'll back out at the last second. Hurry up and stretch, Hisao. I don't want to miss the bus. The bus? I said I wanted you to come back to my house, remember? And I promised Mom we'd be there in time for lunch, so I wanted to hurry. Early start, huh? It's more for my mom's benefit than anything else. Ah, well that's okay. I unsuccessfully try to guess what Emmy has planned, shortly before realizing that it doesn't matter that much to me. I quickly go through my warm-up routine, while Emmy bounces impatiently from one foot to another. She really does seem want to get moving as soon as possible. Yep, we really are back in the old grind. The run is over so quickly, I can barely believe that I haven't fallen over dead afterwards. Emmy set a blistering pace, and I, in my foolishness, kept up with her. I guess we've gotten better over the, many months or weeks or whatever the fuck we've been doing this? Well, until the last few laps, I had to slow down just in case, but I don't mind. And Emmy's waiting patiently for me when I finish, as patiently as she can wait anyway. Finished? Good, come on. No cooldown lap. Grabbing my arm, she practically rushes me down to the nurse's office. You seem in a hurry, Emmy. Trying to catch the early bus? Yeah, I told my mom I'd be back for lunch. Well, I'll take care of you first then. But Hisao's gotta come with me too. The nurse raises a single eyebrow at this statement and peers at the two of us searchingly. Really? Today, huh? Emmy's response is a nod, followed by a surprisingly shy grin. Well then, we'll make this quick. Emmy enters the nurse's office, and I patiently wait outside for her to be finished, wondering just why the nurse seemed to be surprised by Emmy's declaration. I feel like I'm missing out on some joke or the significance of today, beyond the fact that it is clearly significant in some way, of course. True to his word, the nurse has Emmy out of his office surprisingly quickly, and I take her place after promising to meet up at the front gate. The nurse takes my pulse and listens for a bit. Your heart beats faster than usual. Been pushing yourself again, have you? Well, Emmy seemed to be in a rush to get through the run, so... I'm not surprised. Today is rather important to her, you know. I suspected that could be the case, but I have no idea why that's the case. She hasn't told you? Interesting. So you're not going to tell me either, then? No, I'm not. I suspect that Emmy has her own plan for explaining today to you, and I don't want to mess that up. Or, I don't want to mess with that. You'll find out soon enough, so what's the rush? Now, as for your heart, I would take it easy for the rest of the day. No spontaneous races or anything like that, got it? Got it. She won't have her running legs on anyway, right? No, but if you think something like that is going to stop her, good point. I don't think it'll be much of an issue today, of all days, but still. If he's trying to reassure me, he's doing a terrible job. I'm quickly becoming more and more worried about what today could be for. Like suddenly finding out Emmy's in a cult or something. Hey man, maybe that might not be so bad. Who knows? Everything could be okay. At the same time, if today is such a big deal and Emmy wants me to be with her for it, then maybe she really does want to grow closer to me. Maybe this will be the answer to all the riddles, to the sleepless nights and the sudden mood swings. Either way, I barely remember to thank the nurse before taking off as quickly as I dare from my room. Dare from my room? I'm gonna say that dart from my room. To get a shower and throw on some decent looking clothes. If today is as important as it seems to be, I should dress appropriately. Emmy, of course, proves me wrong as soon as I reach the front gate wearing her usual shirt and shorts, so at least I know it's not a terribly formal affair, whatever it is. You're early, Hisao. Not as early as you. Eager, are we? Emmy cheekily pokes out her tongue. The bus isn't very crowded at this hour, which seems to please Emmy, and we end up relaxing a little as we wait. We sit in silence for a while, but I can tell that Emmy's trying to work herself up to say something. I don't have anything to say myself, so I sit waiting for her to talk. It doesn't take too long. So, I'm sure you're curious as to why the nurse thought it was so weird for me to be bringing you along today. That was a bit, yes, but if you're not ready to tell me... Emmy stops my sentence by placing a finger on my lips. Ooh. Don't tempt me, Hisao. I want to tell you this, but I'm just uncertain as to how to go about it. I don't want to keep delaying or deferring. I just want to be able to say it. So say it. You know that it's not going to be that easy for me, Hisao. So treat it like running. Warm up to it with something small and easy, and go from there. But don't do it too fast, okay? I'm a patient man. I can wait for you to get to it. Emmy seems to consider my words, weighing them against what it is probably a desire to get it over with. I will admit, as much as I keep telling Emmy to take her time, I wouldn't mind her getting it over with either. Excuse me. But somehow, I know that Emmy probably needs more time than the bus ride will provide to get it all out, whatever it is. Yeah, maybe you're right. The bus stop probably isn't the best place for this anyway. But just to make sure that I don't go back on my word, I'll at least say this. She takes a deep breath, lets it out, and after a moment says in a low voice, We're going to see my dad today. Oh. The words hang in the air, and I can see that Emmy's afraid that I'll panic and disappear in response, which a part of me almost wants to do. But it would be stupid of me to back out, or to suddenly abandon the promise I made to be there for Emmy when she needs me. The nurse thought it was so weird for her, of her, to bring me along. She doesn't bring anyone along, or at least I'm willing to bet that she hasn't before today. The day seems to take on an even greater significance. What has it taken Emmy to even get this far? Ah. And why is that the best I can manage as a response? Yeah. I don't know what I should say. Nothing, I think. Just promise me that you're coming... Well, let me start over on that sentence. Just promise that you're going to come with me. Of course. You know I will. Emmy smiles wanly, looking a little relieved. Good. In that case, we'd better get going. The bus pulls up just a little after she finishes the sentence. What a coincidence! Vague memories of my first trip out here come to mind as I step off the bus, but unfortunately they're too vague to be of any use. I will be the first to admit that I don't quite recall how to get to Emmy's house, so I let her lead the way. She seems content to walk in silence, and I have no idea what I could possibly say, so the two of us arrive at her house, having said nothing since getting off the bus. Emmy's mother opens the door and doesn't seem surprised to see me standing next to her daughter. I expect that Emmy would have phoned ahead to let her mother know of the change in plans. Emmy, Hisao! You're just in time. Lunch is about ready. Great. I was afraid we might be running late. As fast as you were going this morning, I doubt there was much of a chance of that. I certainly hope she wasn't too much of a bother, Hisao. She tends to get a little paranoid about being on time when food's involved. I hadn't noticed. This earns me a swat on the arm from Emmy, who despite the serious nature of our conversation on the bus and the almost brooding quiet walk, has quickly become cheerful again. Sorry guys, still dying like the last episode. I have no idea why. Probably to keep her mother from worrying about whatever it is Emmy plans to tell me later. Mrs. Ibarazaki ushers us in, and in short order we're around the table devouring lunch. I hadn't realized how hungry I was until I got here, but for once I seem to be eating almost as much as Emmy. Goodness, it's a good thing I made so much. The two of you are acting like you haven't eaten in days. I skipped breakfast this morning. Me too. Had to catch the bus, I assume? That, and I figured you'd make too much food, so it wouldn't matter if I skipped breakfast. Well, it's a good thing to know that I'm predictable. Emmy nods enthusiastically, and conversation falls off again as we very nearly clear the table of anything edible. It is a testament to the sheer amount of food on offer that we don't finish everything. I lean back in my chair with a sigh and thank Mrs. Ibarazaki for the food. I'm glad you liked it, Hisao. Now, has Emmy told you where we're going? Yeah, sort of. Is it far from here? Not really, but we'll drive there to save time. It closes kind of early. I nod in assent and stand up, ready to go. I think I'm getting more of an idea of exactly where we're going. Well then, shall we? Mrs. Ibarazaki nods and leaves the room to grab her keys. Emmy, I notice, has started to fidget nervously. Second thoughts? Emmy smiles tightly at me and shrugs. She's fallen silent again, which probably means that I'm right, and she is starting to regret bringing me along. Not that I blame her. She's done such a good job of shutting me out that I doubt it's easy to suddenly open up. Honestly, I'm worried that she's forcing it. But she said while waiting for the bus that I'm not supposed to give her a chance to back out, and since I promised to go with her anyway, I suppose there's not much of a choice. I can't go back on my promise, and she can't go back on hers. I just hope the both of us are up to it. We're off. Emmy's mother blows through the dining room, collects the two of us, and heads out the door at a brisk pace. Now I know where her daughter gets it from. Oh. Looks like my idea was, or my prediction was a little correct. The car pulls up at the cemetery gates, and I feel Emmy tense up beside me. I reach over and give her hand a comforting squeeze, which causes her to relax a little. I sort of get the idea here. Her dad's dead, and I sort of thought, like, that was my biggest prediction as to what happened with Dad. Like, I know I said in an earlier episode that it's possible that, you know, he's just, you know, doing his own thing somewhere else, but he was brought up whenever the accident was brought up, so I kind of figured that he kind of disappeared after that, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Emmy's mother doesn't follow us, explaining that she prefers to visit the grave alone. Emmy steps through the gates and looks back, as if to make sure I'm still there. We step into the cemetery. I don't feel comfortable in cemeteries. Gravestones litter the ground, each one serving as a reminder that someone used to be alive and is no longer. How many died young? How many were as old as I am now? When do I wind up with a marker of my own? How much longer do I have left? The concept of not waking up, not seeing Emmy anymore, is not a happy one. It frightens me, and I very nearly turn around and exit right then and there. I don't want to go among dead people. I don't want to see their stones and think about who they were or what they could have been if they'd only had more time. Then I look at the girl next to me, and my resolve returns. Emmy's striding purposefully down the path, eyes clear, setting a pace that's very nearly a jog. The sooner we get there, I suspect she thinks, the better. We're here. Ah, well, I believe this is Dad. Fuck, dude. A gravestone, wholly unremarkable in everything except for the name etched upon it. The grass has grown up around the base. Emmy's eyes are riveted to the stone. After a few moments, she turns around, looking surprisingly calm, yet solemn. Pink's not actually my favorite color, you know. What? I'm warming up to it. Ah. People tend to think that pink's my favorite color. I think it's because I like strawberries, even though those are red, they just assume that pink's the right color for strawberries. And that it's my favorite color, but it's not. I'm too polite to tell anyone otherwise, of course, and it's not the kind of thing worth getting worried about, but I'll bet even you thought pink was my favorite color. No, I never even thought about that. If anything, I think it's a green based on what she's wearing now. Blue. Oh, okay, I was kind of close. Blue. That's my favorite color. My mom and dad are the only two who know that. And now you do too. Thanks for telling me, I think. You're welcome. There's a pause as she's... Sorry. There's a pause as she considers what to say next, drawing a quick breath. I can't carry a tune to save my life. I can hum, but actually singing a song is something I've never been able to do. I don't mind, because I'm not a fan of karaoke anyway. Well, that's one potential date idea out of the window. People all think that I'm a really popular and friendly person, but I only have a... Sorry, guys, I really am dying. But I only have a few close friends, probably because I keep everyone in the dark, but I think it's also because I hate the idea of losing a close friend. There aren't many people worth the risk. I'm terrible at saying goodbye. I sometimes think that I only run because it's what I used to do with my father. You're not my first boyfriend. I dated a guy for a long while during my second year at Yamaku, but in the end we broke up because I didn't want to get closer to him. He couldn't live with that distance between us. Her rate of speaking increases slightly, as if she's rushing towards a finish line. I'm actually 1 year older than you. Everybody thinks I'm younger because I'm short, but I had to skip 1 school year because of my accident. They initially thought I was paralyzed when they pulled me out of the wreckage. I'd lost my legs already, but they were afraid that I wouldn't be able to use what was left of them. After surgery, it was clear that their initial assessment was mistaken. I couldn't feel my legs because of shock, short-term paralysis, or whatever, due to the other trauma I'd experienced. My recovery was one of the fastest they'd ever seen, or so they told me. I never found out if they were serious about that or if they told that to all the patients learning to walk again. She pauses, gathering herself for one last effort. 8 years ago today, I lost my legs, and I lost my father as well. Fuck, man. He died on the way to the hospital. I didn't even get to go to the gravesite until 2 months later, and couldn't attend his funeral. I'm so sorry. Don't be. That's what everyone always says, that they're sorry. I hate hearing that. Like anyone could have done anything to change what happened. You know the best piece of advice I got? These things happen. I don't even remember who said it, but I guess they didn't have anything better to say. But it's true, you know? These things happen, and there's nothing you can do about it. They aren't necessarily planned, and they aren't always bad, but they aren't always good. But they are. So I made the decision that I would live without worrying about the future, and to be sure that I never had to say goodbye again. I decided I wouldn't let people get close to me anymore. After all, they could be taken away at any time. And you know what? She laughs a little bitterly. Her eyes start to well up with tears, and I step forward to embrace her, but she holds up a hand to stop me. I'm not finished. A deep breath and she continues. It worked pretty well, until I met you and saw that you were trying to adjust to stuff here. So I thought I'd help, and then you were so nice and I couldn't help it, Ah, fuck, dude. Man, we really did dress nicely. I think we did dress correctly for that occasion. The tears are flowing now, and she accepts the embrace this time. The rest of her sentence is mumbled into my chest. I tried not to fall for you, but I did. And then I tried to keep you at a distance, like with my first boyfriend, but I couldn't. But I've been so scared because I don't want to lose you, and I might anyway. Hey, I'm still around, right? And maybe I won't be forever, but don't you think it'll be fun while it lasts? Neither of us could survive the day. There could be a bus crash or something, but so long as I know that I've been with you, I don't think it matters. A sudden thought strikes me, and I can't help laughing. My condition had scared me of dying so badly that I immediately seized the opportunity Emmy presented to improve my odds of living longer. But without Emmy, would there have been any motivation to keep up with my running? It hits me that Emmy is the reason I want to go running every day, so I can spend as much time with her as possible. Emmy looks up at me, confused. We'll go on living until we stop. And when we stop living, we'll be able to know that at least we've had time together. And I wouldn't have had it any other way. Because I love you, Emmy. And right now, that's enough for me. Emmy smiles through her tears and steps back from me. You know, it's funny. What is? I thought that the best way to live in the moment was to do it alone. But now, I don't think I'd have it any other way either. I'm glad I met you, Hisao. Well, these things happen. Emmy and I stay by the grave for a while as Emmy pays her respects to her father. When she's ready to go, we exit the graveyard side by side. That was fucking deep right there. Emmy's mother drives us back to Yamaku. The trip back is very quiet. We wave goodbye as the car drives off, and I glance down at the girl leaning on my arm. How are you feeling? Emmy shrugs non-committedly. I'll be fine. Come on, let's go. We pause outside the girls' dorm and I turn to face Emmy, ready to say goodbye. Why don't you come up for a while? Okay. Pretty solid response right there. The walk up to her room is in silence. I'm not sure why I supposed I'd be turned away at the door. I guess I just assumed that she'd want to be alone. Her mom, the nurse, hell, everyone who knew the significance of today seemed to think it best to leave Emmy alone. But she took me into the graveyard with her. She told me the whole story of what happened on the day she lost her legs. She wanted me around. The significance of this does not escape me. Emmy opens the door and steps into her room, not even bothering to invite me in, holding the door for me expectantly. It's been a while since we've been in this place. I step in and the door swings shut behind me. Hey, can I ask you a favor? Sure. Can't guarantee I'll do it, but... Emmy giggles and pulls me into a kiss that starts out soft but deepens into something almost desperate. Stay with me, please. Her voice has dropped into a whisper. The question is barely audible over the sound of my own breathing. There's something about the way that she asks that question, that hesitancy in it, the quiet voice, that makes me think she doesn't mean tonight. No, she means exactly what she said. Stay with me. Not tonight or forever, because both of us know there's no such thing as forever. There's no time limit to her request. There's just the request. The favor. Can I do that? Can I stay with her? Of course! I was going to say, like, hell yeah, we can. We embrace again, Emmy guiding me towards her bed, stepping backwards with care until she sits down on the edge. Oh, I guess it's time for this. She's gotten my shirt off by this point, and I've similarly lifted hers over her head, bra and all. Her shorts come off just as quickly. Man, they're fast. With practiced ease, she removes her legs and pulls me onto the side of the bed with her, my hand coming around her smooth shoulder. I cast my gaze over her face, down her neck, following the line to the swell of her breasts before I lower my head, planting kisses across her chest, listening to her breath hitch as her hand slides further and further down my chest. What a fun time this sounds like. As I work my way back up to her neck, I can feel her hands working at my belt, now fumbling slightly with the buckle, now unbuttoning, now unzipping, oh my god, until my pants fall to the floor. Her panties are noticeably darkened in the right place, showing that my earlier ministrations have produced some results. Good guy Hisao. I step back quickly and shuck my boxers and move back in as Emmy reaches over into a drawer on her nightstand, removing a small foil package. Ah, the ramen sauce. She tears it open with a quick jerk of her teeth and reaches down to apply the protection. Ah, yes. We need that virus protection on our computer to prevent any issues, which as always causes me to gasp a little. Her expression suddenly changes as she takes the view in of me. Wait a second, are you still in your socks? I pause and look down. Apparently I am. Yeah, does that matter? Take them off. It's weird if you still have them on. Honestly, guys with socks on, it's weird. Like, just with socks on, I mean, not in general. You know, you've still got your socks on, too. Yes, but I don't have my legs on, so it doesn't count. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what the fuck? Unable to deny her logic and impatient to have the conversation over anyway, I quickly removed the offending items. I'm so eager to get back at Emmy that I practically jump on top of her, fucking pinning her to the ground, wrestling her, pushing her down playfully. Damn, dude, what a sight this is. Fantastic. Emmy's giggling and squirming quickly ends, replaced by a happy sigh as I enter her. Lovely. Breathing deeply as she savors the feeling, she spreads her arms to grab the sheets. Her breath is in my ear as I begin moving, whispering words of encouragement, nipping at my neck. Now in my mouth? Oh man, we're gonna be in a lot of pain. My hips hit the edge of the mattress, shaking the bed. A part of my brain briefly wonders if I should try to be quieter before succumbing to the waves of pleasure racing up my spine. Emmy's stomach tenses as she grows closer to the edge, and as our bodies both begin to glisten with sweat, time begins to become hazy. The sound of my own breathing mingles with Emmy's panting, ugh, and I ready myself for a final surge, oh my god, before surrendering to the rushing wave of climax. Emmy's body shudders, and she cries out, her fingers digging into my back. That's going to be a lovely sight, as I too lose control of myself. My back arches as I let myself go, feeling my body spasm as I orgasm. Lovely! I collapse next to Emmy, who almost immediately curls against me, smiling. Mentally, I feel grateful that Emmy keeps her nails short, otherwise I think she might have drawn blood. I sit up briefly to dispose of the now-used condom and lay back down next to Emmy, who's in turn taken care of cleaning herself off. For a while, we lay in silence, savoring the feeling of being next to one another. Emmy is the first to speak. Hey, Hisao? Huh? Thanks for coming with me today. Literally just now, but yeah, of course. I smile and plant a kiss on her head. Of course, my pleasure. Emmy snuggles closer, and I can feel her breathing begin to slacken as she begins to drift off to sleep. Just as she's about to fall asleep, she wakes up enough to mutter a single sentence. I love you, Hisao. Ah! Then she's out like a light, leaving me feeling like I'm on top of the world. I draw the slumbering Emmy as close as possible, pull the covers over us to keep the chill off, and fall asleep as happy as I've ever been. Wowzers. Oh yeah, I can get a drink of water. Better not be too fast. I don't know, maybe I'm losing my voice a little bit. It's really hard to speak for long periods of time again. That sometimes happens with me, you know? It's a hard life. The morning light seems to reach further into Emmy's room than it does into mine. This results in my waking up earlier than I would have if I've gone back to my room last night, as had previously been our routine. I did not realize it until this morning, but this is the first time we've actually spent the night together. A small movement from my partner's still slumbering form causes me to look to the side. Hair splayed across her face, Emmy continues to sleep peacefully curled up next to me. It's slightly weird seeing her without her trademark twin tails, but it's also a look I could get used to. The small size of the bed here necessitates her curling up, but I'm pretty sure she would have done so anyway. The covers are nearly over her head, and I smile as an errant strand of hair causes her nose to twitch slightly. Unable to help myself, I draw a little closer and move, which she seems to think is a good idea. Her steady breath raises a trail of goosebumps on my chest, but I don't mind. I am no longer tired, but I do not feel a need to move from my current position. Emmy's warm body in repose against mine is far too comfortable to move. I gaze up at the ceiling and consider how it is that we got to this point. We've been close for a while, but not this close. It seems like only yesterday that she ran into me in the hallway, and after apologizing decided to take an interest in my well-being, but that grew into something else, which I at least was not expecting. One thing is for certain, having found Emmy, I will try as hard as I can not to lose her. My morning musing is interrupted by further movement from Emmy. Her eyes flutter open, and she seems briefly confused by my presence in her bed, as well as her current state of dress, which is non-existent. Damn, dude. Alright. Okay. Then she smiles happily and sits up, her face looking down at me. Good morning, Hisao. Hi. Sleep well? Yeah, I did. Exhausting day yesterday, you know? I think back over yesterday's trip to the graveyard. Yeah, glad to hear you slept well. How'd you sleep? Well, enough, although you kept hogging the covers. This earns me a shove and a stuck-out tongue. I chuckle, and Emmy giggles a little, and we fall quiet for a while. I soak up the feeling of how right it all seems, waking up with Emmy by me, crammed into a bed made for one person. That works out lovely. It's something I could get used to. I know I couldn't. I need a big-ass bed for all of me. Fuck other people. Hey, Hisao. Huh? Thanks for sticking around. No problem. Saved me the walk back anyway, right? This draws another giggle, but then Emmy's expression turns serious again. No, really. I kept trying to push you away because I thought that was the right thing to do, and you stuck around through it all. I haven't made any of this easy for you, but you stuck it out anyway. So really, I mean it. Thank you. She punctuates this by giving me a kiss, pulling back, and looking at me with an expression of affection. I reach up and ruffle her hair, smiling all the while. By the way, I am noticing her hair's not in her usual style. It's all let loose. It's nice. I'm stupidly lucky, I think. To have come through everything after my heart attack and to somehow have found this girl is nothing short of a miracle. You're very welcome, Emmy. I couldn't bear the thought of giving you up. I'll even continue to stick around if you want. I'd like that. That settles it then. I don't know how long my heart will keep working. And I don't even really know what I'll do after this year is over, apart from going to university. As long as Emmy's around, I think I'll be okay. I've managed to help her, and she's managed to help me. If we keep doing that, we'll be okay, I think. So, Hisao. What do you want to do today? Damn, dude. Is that the end? I think that's the end. I believe we are at this visual novel's end. Or at least, like, the route end. Alright, guys. Holy shit. We're gonna get a little scene here or something like that. The credits rolling by. Wow. Are we seeing some Emmy here or something like that? That's cool. This was really nice, guys. I think these are little sketches of her from... Yeah, these are definitely sketches of her character. Alright. So I guess as that is being shown, lovely as she is, this was a lot of fun, guys. I really enjoyed this. I was skeptical going into a free visual novel, this, which has been around for quite a while. And I know that this is a long one, per se, if you were to do all the routes, but I gave it a try with one route, and honestly, this blew me away. This was really fun. I honestly gotta say it, man. Let's see what happens here. Yep, we're back at the end here. Or we're back at the main menu, I should say. So, if we go to the library, there's one scene here. We would not have gotten to Act 4 if I selected the other choice. That's what I'm assuming. Because that was the final decision-making thing there. I feel as if we would not get to the final act, which is the final, like, we would not have gotten to Act 4, the final act, the act which got us to the good end. I think this is the good end. If this is the bad end, then, Jesus Christ, it's not all that bad. No, but I honestly believe that we got the good end, and I would say that if I chose something else when we were at that dinner, the other choice to go after Emmy and to, I guess, ignore the advice that we could have gotten from her mother and to try and get closer to her that way, we wouldn't have gotten anywhere. We would have been stagnated, I guess. That's what I'm assuming, at least. We were able to finally get close to Emmy. What a touching story that was. I kind of assumed that she lost her legs and her father in some freak accident. I was assuming that it was more along the lines of a car wreck, and it seems like that's what it was. I can only imagine what exactly the car wreck was, but it's not exactly uncommon for people to lose their legs or really anything like that. Like, it's very common for people to lose a lot of shit in car crashes, especially the legs. Or at least that's what I've seen and heard. Also, damage the ribs. That's another thing, but whatever. Point is, that was a crazy story. Being able to really... Like, Emmy finally was able to come up and tell us about her past. That was difficult of her, but she finally trusted Hisao enough to go for it, to finally let him get close after all that hard work that he put in to try and show her that it's okay, you know? He wants to help, not because he thinks that she can't do it on her own. He knows she can, but he still wants to be there because of the love that he has for her. It's a very touching story, I gotta admit. This was very, very solid, honestly. I love this, and really, to everyone who recommended this to me, like this, thank you, honestly. This was a fantastic read. If I am to come back to this, I think I'm just going to go back. Let's see. I think I'll go back to, I think it's Exercise. I want to say it is Exercise, because that was the one which I believe got us on Emmy's route. If I were to decide not to go past Hisao's limits, but to actually, take it easy, I think we would have gone through and we would have gotten into another route, I believe, or something along those lines. Hanako, is that her name? I already forgot. Hold on, let me look it up. Yeah, Hanako. She seemed like a really interesting person. Her and Lily really seemed like interesting people. Rin, not so much because of the dull attitude, but I feel like we'd get a little bit more. That would be a little bit more fleshed out if we were to go down her route. And Shizune, I don't know, man. Like, that one would be a little bit of a flip of the coin for me. But these all seem like incredible characters. And Emmy's character, when we were first introduced to her, I was like, I don't know about her. But my opinion has absolutely changed. She is a very incredible character, and this was a fantastic story. I don't know if I can give this a rating. I don't think I've done ratings for visual novels, but I'd give this like a nice 8 or 9 out of 10. This was a freely made visual novel. These people volunteered to make this, I believe. That's incredible. So, you know what? Clap of the hands for everyone who put work in for this visual novel. It is very, very incredible in my opinion. So, honestly, like, guys who made this, fantastic work. Fantastic story. The art and the music especially, holy shit. All of it is fantastic. Really great visual novel. And to everyone who recommended this to me, like I said, thank you. And honestly, to you guys for watching, this was 26 episodes. Thank you for watching any of them. Like I said, this was a risk going into this visual novel. Not really sure how it would have worked out. Quite a few people were excited to watch this. It brought back a lot of memories and stuff to quite a few of my viewers because this visual novel has been out, and I've heard that this is actually like a first visual novel for a lot of people. This is one of my first. I don't do a lot of visual novels other than for YouTube, so I will admit that I freaking enjoyed this. This was great. So I appreciate you guys tuning in and for showing support for me doing this playthrough and others. Really means a lot, especially in this lovely time of YouTube demonetization. You guys are really motivating, and you guys keep me doing what I love to do, and that's sit here, read, and get all emotional and commentate and mispronounce words and this and that. Basically entertaining you guys in whatever way I can. It's what I do. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode and this series, Katawa Shoujo, make sure you leave a like. Subscribe if you would like to stay tuned for other stuff that I do. I don't know if I'll come back to this because there are some other visual novels and playthroughs that I would like to tackle on the channel, especially this year. Because I remember saying some time ago that I wanted to do other visual novels, and this was one of them. So, yeah. Just subscribe if you'd like to stay tuned, support me, this and that. I'll stop rambling. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys. And I'll see you in whatever video you'd like to say or see next. Ugh, my bad. Oh, best character? That bench. Remember, guys, when Emmy and Hisao kissed? Bench. The bench. Best character. Just saying. Hope you guys know what episode I'm talking about, because I don't. Anyways, thank you for watching. Thanks for the support. I'll see you guys in whatever video you'd like to see next. Goodbye.